Hey guys, it's Thursday night, so guess what we're doing? Cooking show live right here from Foreman's Foodies. So, my assistant, are you going to be my assistant tonight?
Yeah.
She's coming because I know you guys love to see Mamma Mia in action too. Alright, so we are making chicken enchilada ring, and this is like a classic Pampered Chef recipe because the rings have been out forever and ever. So I felt like when I joined Pampered Chef in 2003 that Pampered Chef had a love affair with Pillsbury or like some kind of thing. So everything was wrapped in crescent rolls. So I'm going to show you first, before we get to the crescent roll part, how to do some chicken and then some slicing and dicing, and then how to put the ring actually together, and then I'm gonna pop it in the oven, and then probably in the video at that point because you don't need to sit here and like stare at me while it bakes. It goes anywhere from like 20 to 25 minutes in the oven depending on your oven and all that fun stuff. So this is one of those recipes that I can almost do in my sleep because we have been doing it for years. So should we go ahead and get started? All right, so Mia, you do a little, I want to see you. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so first up is I need to get the chicken because we were leaving that into the fridge until the very end. So we're going to do some, this is what I always talk about at my shows, that we always get the large pack of chicken. So this is almost 5 pounds and it was $1.79. So it's much cheaper to buy this package of chicken than it is to buy the smaller ones that are only like 2 or 3 breasts, because they're usually more per pound, or the ones that are really thin sliced because they're like $5.99 a pound. So we don't want to spend that much money on chicken. So I'm going to show you how I clean it up, and then how I fillet it so that you can do this at your house and get more for your money when it comes to chicken. Now, also when I buy this pack of chicken, this usually helps me cook once and serve 2 or 3 times. So when I do this, it's going to be, tonight we're putting it in the ring, and then like if I wanted to save some chicken because we want to do another chicken Mexican dish later, like chicken tacos or nachos or something like that, or we'll leave it cold and the kids will put it in a roll up and eat it like a chicken salad roll up, throw a little mayo in there maybe, and then there's a couple other things that we do with it once I cook it and put it in the fridge. So it's just much easier to cook it once and then have multiple days of it. Okay, so let's get going. All right, so let me angle this down so they can see my cutting mat there a little bit better. Alright, so I just take my kitchen shears. We're going to zip right through this package. Alright, and I've got a trash bag over here so I can put stuff in my grocery bag. Alright, so let me just move this over a little bit and we'll get this started. This is like one of my least favorite jobs, is to clean up chicken, but luckily I have my kitchen shears and I can just clean them up pretty easily. So these shears can actually go through chicken bone, and we've had a couple designs of these over the years. So this is like the third design that has been out since I've been with Pampered Chef. So we had like the ones with the white handles, we had the ones that they were kind of skinnier, and then they came back and kind of merged the two ideas and came out with these babies. So I like them for cleaning up my chicken breast. So I usually do this all at once. Even if I'm going to freeze part of it or do some meal prep with putting all my other ingredients in Ziploc baggies, I do this. I clean all the chicken up. When we do like a 10 at a time show, this is like what we do, is we do 5 pounds of chicken and 5 pounds of beef at the same time. I hate that thing right there. So we're going to clean that baby up. It's like a tenderloin or a tendon or whatever. Clean that up. Now you should not rinse your chicken because then you're spreading salmonella all over your sink, and we don't definitely want to do that. So just leave your chicken as is. What our home office has told us on a video last week was that soap or water doesn't kill salmonella, so don't rinse it off because you're just spreading it. And so what kills it is actually the cooking process of being at a high temperature. So, all right, we'll get the last one cleaned up. Now my hands are cold because I've been touching very, very cold chicken. And actually last night when I went to the store, the little space was out where this normally is. And so the guy saw me kind of wandering around and said, well, can I help you with something? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for the chicken breasts that are cheap. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm about to put those out. So there you have it. All right, so all cleaned up with my kitchen shears. And so then I usually, I've got this trash bag. All right, and I'm just gonna get rid of that and then put this in here and let my lovely assistant put the whole thing in the trash can.
Yum.
All right, grab it right over there so you don't get things. Yeah, okay. So I haven't washed my hands yet because I still have stuff to do with the chicken. So I'll wash my hands and get the chicken grossness off once I kind of do the next step. So, all right, so I'm just gonna move my shears to the side. And I'm gonna take my chef's knife. This is like an 8-inch knife here out. And we're going to use this to fillet the chicken breast. So when we first got the closing cut, you probably heard me say this at a show, I wasn't sold on this product. I was like, I'm not going to cut grapes. I don't like grape tomatoes. I'm not really sure what I'm going to use this for. I buy pre-sliced bagels. So it has 2 little trampolines on the inside here. And finally a friend of mine showed me how to use it with chicken breasts. So you know, these babies are pretty big when you buy them like this in that big package. I've seen them even bigger than this. But I usually just put the chicken breast right there inside, put my knife down right here on the side, and then close it. So when I close it, it's making it so that the chicken is directly in the middle, because remember the trampolines on both sides there are going to line it up in the middle. So I'm putting my knife right there, and I'm just going back and forth. All right, so there I have filleted my chicken breast so that it is evenly cut like on both sides. All right, so in the meantime, Mia, I'm gonna have you turn on my burners and turn both of the top and the bottom to like a 7. All right, and she's getting the burners ready for the double burner grill pan. All right, so this is when I just, you know, I just keep chugging along. So I just kind of take this and keep going. So you have to have at least a 7-8 inch knife because a 5-inch is not gonna go through because it's the diameter of this. So Mia, do you want to try it?
Sure.
All right, so I'll put it in there so you don't have to touch any dirty chicken. And then you grab the knife with that hand and close it with that one. So Mia came with me about a year ago to a Kids in the Kitchen show that we did 10 at a time and Kids in the Kitchen. So we let kids like her age, even younger actually, there was like kids that were 4 and 5. We let them do this with supervision. And that's not something you would normally let a kid do. Here, go ahead, you can do it again. You would not normally let a kid, you know, prep your chicken for dinner, but because we were supervising and they had really nice tools. All right, I think you got it. All right, I'm just going to keep putting them on there for you, and then that way you can keep going. All right, so we got 2 more after that one. This is a really big one here.
Yeah, this one's a fat.
That's a big fat one. All right, move your knife so I don't, yep, there you go. All right, now here's the big one. So sometimes I gotta squish it in there. If it's really too big, I'll cut the triangle piece off and only do the circle piece. All right, so put your knife down. There you go. See, she's putting her fingers in that hole. I usually just put my hand flat. Her hands are a little smaller than mine, so maybe that's more comfortable. All right, did you go all the way through?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, one more to go. And we'll go ahead and put that one on there. All right, perfect. There you go, you all the way through. All right, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna take both of these, I'm gonna take that from you, and take these tools over to the sink. I'm still not done with touching my chicken, so I'm just taking these to the sink. All right, so then when I come back, you've got your chicken breast, and so usually I just tell people to make a nice even layer on your cutting mat so that you can season it. So we're just going to season it like on one side. So if I don't have enough room on this mat because I do have a lot of chicken, I'm just going to do the best I can and then I'll do another round. All right, so let's move some of these around here. My hand is so cold. All right, so we'll put another one right there.
You can microwave your hand.
No, we're not going to microwave my hand. All right, so there we've got enough there that I'm going to season this half. All right, so this is my clean hand, and this is our Southwest seasoning that I'm using. So I'm not a very good measurer, so this is how I season chicken. So when people ask me, well, how much? I don't know until it's covered. All right, so I'm very liberal with my seasoning and do it like this. All right, and then I'm just going to do another layer real quick of chicken right on top. All right, and do the same thing. All right, notice I'm only seasoning one side. There's a reason that I'm doing that. All right, so then we take all this chicken, we got it nice and seasoned. This is one of my favorites. I'll show you guys the dip I made before with this seasoning. All right, so we got our chicken covered and we're ready to go. We've got it filleted, it's covered, this hand is still gross, and then we're gonna go over to the stove. So, all right, so Mia, you're gonna need to grab the tripod.
Yep.
And I still need, yeah, I know I'm gonna touch chicken again, but my hand is so cold. So over here at our grill pan and press, we've got our double burner griddle. So let me just angle you guys up a little bit and over so you can see what's going on here. All right, so we've got our double burner griddle. Mia's got our presses warming up here. And the way you tell if it's ready for your grill pan, ready to put your meat on, is where you can feel the heat. So right now, the heat is like, I can feel it coming up right here. I want it about right here, so then I know it's even. If I can feel the heat all the way up here, whoa, it is too hot. So this is a flat top stove. I used to not have the bridge burner in between, and I would still use this on a flat top. So you can use it on a gas, you can use it on a flat, you can use it on an electric coil, whatever you've got. The only thing it doesn't work on is induction. But you can go ahead and do this. So I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit. I just don't like to stay in at a long period of time really high, but I want to get my presses hot. So I can feel this heat starting to come up now. This hand is freezing because I was touching chicken. So I'm like warming my hands right now. Now this is metal, so heat will conduct up through the cast iron press up through this. But right now it's still kind of cold to the touch. But I do make sure that I use a protective, let me show you. We're tall people, so we put our oven mitts up high. Where are my red oven mitts? Over there. All right, so there's my red oven mitt. So as this gets hot, I can use that, or I can use my little red grippies over there somewhere. They might be in the oh, here they are. So I have these too that I love to use these with the presses. All right, so I can feel the heat. It's where I want it. I'm going to set this press on this hot trivet for a second. Remember, this is still my yucky chicken hand, and I'm going to put the chicken seasoning side down on my grill pan. Notice I did not oil it. I did not put any water or, I don't know, broth or anything. I'm just putting the chicken right on there. All right, I need to hold this one. All right, so Mia, you're going to grab me the seasoning from the other counter there. And I just shove as much chicken in here as I can get. All right, we're going to get creative because there's only one piece left and we're not leaving one piece behind. Oh, well, there's a piece. Oh, there was two pieces. Okay, so we're still going to get that baby on there. All right, so now Mia's got the seasoning in her clean hands, and she's going to season the other side. So this is what I do while we're putting it on. You switch places with me and go over there and do that while I wash my hand. Now you got your back to the camera so they can't see. You can talk to them.
Yeah, this is a good seasoning. We made a dip, and we have used other dips before, and they still taste really good.
So when we make dips, we use equal parts of mayo and sour cream, and then the seasoning or the rub to taste. That looks good.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll put our presses back on. Now what happens with protein, so chicken, your fish, whatever, is that you are going to feel a suction down of the press. So after this sits for about a minute to two, if I come over here and try to lift this, it's not going to lift or easy. It's going to feel very suctioned down. And when you're at a show with me, I have you test that theory out for me. Then when it releases, even if the chicken is stuck to the top, it's okay. But when it releases from the pan, that's when it's time to flip. I kind of get an indication when I can start seeing it turn white around the edges here. But I usually give it a couple minutes, like 3-4 minutes, and then I know that it's time to go ahead and flip my chicken. So we're going to go back over to the island and do some of the other prep so that we can get all this ready at one time. So here comes my videographer, my person there. Okay, so here's our dip that we have mayo and sour cream, equal parts-ish. I didn't really measure, but with Southwest seasoning. So this tastes a lot like the Mexican restaurant white sauce, if you like that stuff. So I mix that ahead of time to put it in the fridge so the seasonings and everything will marry and it won't taste like straight mayo or sour cream. All right, put that away. Put this away. And then in the meantime, I'm going to start slicing and dicing. So you guys should be able to see pretty good right here. I've got my tomato knife. Just going to do my tomato, the end off and in half here. And then I'm going to take my scoop loop. So this is a really handy little tool. It's like a piece of nylon and it has teeth in it. Can you see that? Look at that. All right, so I just take it and take the seeds out of my maters. Tomatoes are not one of my favorite things, but I do like ketchup and pizza sauce and things like that. But I'm not a fan of like a raw tomato. So I am going to take the seeds out because they make things a little watery. I do that with salsa too, as I take the seeds out and chicken bruschetta pasta. So these are Roma tomatoes. I remember the first time I ever made this and the recipe says plum tomatoes. And I'm like, what's a plum tomato? I can only find Roma. And this is before the Google, guys. So I had to call my mother and was like, what's a Roma tomato? So she's like, it's a plum tomato. They're the same thing. All right, so clean up my seeds with my scoop loop. All right, get rid of my ends here. And then I'm just gonna, I don't even have to cut these again, but I am just because I like this knife.
Let's do it.
All right, so then I'm gonna do a little lime, okay? I wanted to show you the fine coarse grater because it's really great for zesting. And so remember, this is a spring, okay? This is not a magical button. It's just where I put my thumb to pull this back and forth. So if your recipe called for zest, you can take your lime. I usually hold this upside down and I zest it like this. Look at that. And I'm rotating the lime as I'm doing this for you. So imagine like garlic, cinnamon, chocolate, nuts, all that fun stuff, and we're just zesting our lime. I don't actually own the Pampered Chef Zester because I just use this. It's the same holes, just a bigger surface area. All right, so I'm gonna, actually, where's my manual food processor? I forgot to get that out. I need that. All right, so while you get that, Mia, if it's not in there, it should be in there. It might just be a part. Okay, so next up, we're gonna have sliced olives. I don't love olives, but in this, it adds a nice flavor. So this is a pop top. All right, and then the other one is diced chilies in the juice. So we're gonna use our can opener. Remember, this flies on like a helicopter, okay? So when you do that, look at Rebels in the box. When you put it on like this and you twist it, when it's on there, that means it is good to go and you are ready to open your can. So I just go all the way around. All right, Mia's got my manual food processor.
I can't find the knife part.
You better look, it's in there. I did the dishes. All right, and so then this, I use a little birdie beak so that I can grab the end of the can here and then take it right off like that. It's usually over to the right on the ground, on the cabinet, the bottom of the cabinet. All right, so you need to keep this in the juices. So, and then I need to drain my tomatoes a little bit. I mean, not my tomatoes. Because people are watching and waiting. All right, so I'm going to take this. This is my colander, my Easy Read colander, and I'm going to dump this into my trash bowl here and get the few olives I need. Now, I don't need a whole lot of olives, so I'm going to waste this jar because I don't eat these, but like at a show, I'd let somebody like eat the rest of them if they wanted to. All right, so we're going to do, that looks good. All right, so manual food processor. You know my boyfriend, the MFP. I'm going to take and do my olives. I'm going to do my chilies. And this is to slice and dice everything so nobody goes, ew, I don't like that. All right, we're going to put our tomatoes in there. We're going to put our lime zest in there. And then we're going to do some lime juice. All right, so here is my lime, my citrus press. Do not put your lime in like that or you'll squeeze the lime into your face and into your eye and that would hurt. So you're going to turn this down like that and you're going to push the lime juice so that essentially you're turning it inside out. Alright, so there's our lime juice. This is how I do salsa too. And then when I'm done, I'm going to toss it. Oh, I missed. Can you get that and put that in the sink? I'm going to put that in the sink and put it down in the garbage disposal. And we'll save the other half. Alright, so there's our tomatoes, chilies, and our olives. And then we're going to slice and dice. So obviously when this recipe came out, we did not have the manual food processor. So this is something that I've changed with the recipe over time so that I can use a tool that I love. Alright, so there's everything mixed together. I guess you could use Rotel if you didn't want to buy the tomatoes and if you wanted to spice it up a bit with like the jalapenos and stuff. But it just calls for tomatoes and then chilies. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? Not so chunky? Alright. Alright, so we're going to leave that to the side there. Alright, we're going to need to do some cheese in a second. This is our trash bowl. Alright, since I made a mess on this mat, will you rinse that off and dry it? Because we're going to need that. Alright, so let me show you what's going on with the chicken over here. Duke Dog, of course, right in the center. We call this the like triangle of death, and he's like right here in the middle. Alright, so you can see my chicken is kind of turning white. Alright, so let's see. Oh, that released nicely. So I'm just going to take my presses off. Alright, smelling pretty good over here. Grab my chef's tongs, and we're just going to flip. Oh yeah, now you can hear it sizzling. Alright, put that in there. Now my back burner tends to cook, even though I have them on the same temperature, it tends to cook faster, especially like when I'm doing pancakes on my single burner, back there faster than my front burner. So if your kitchen is like that too, and if you have a small burner and a large burner, I'm going to tell you what to do when you have that, once you flip. Okay, so I've got all my chicken flipped, got some beautiful grill marks going on that one side. My presses are a little warm right now, but I can handle it. My hands are still cold from earlier. So then once this happens, I'm going to rotate the whole thing. Okay, so then my burner that's back here, even though it's set on the same number, it cooks faster. I can distribute the cooking a little bit better. This pan is oven safe up to 400 degrees. So I could take this whole thing and put it right in the oven, say for instance if I wanted to do it that way. So you got a lot of versatility with this. I've used this without the presses to do bacon in the oven just because I needed to do 2 pounds, and this was great for me being able to do a second package of bacon right in my oven, and I didn't have another pan to put it on. I only have 1 bar pan. So this was perfect. Alright, so while this is going on, we're going to go ahead and grate some cheese. So we're going to bring you guys back over here to our main station. Alright, so I'm going to rotate and give you, this stuff can go in the sink. Can you carry that over? Alright. Alright, so take that over to the sink. And then I left the, careful with that knife. I left the cheese in the oven, in the refrigerator until we need it. So Mia, will you grab me the cheese? And I always have multiple sets of these shears. So here's another set that we're going to open our cheese. All right, so those of you who've been to my show, why do we buy block cheese? What is on, not you, Mia, what is on the bag cheese that we are trying to avoid? What are you saying?
Sawdust.
Drew said the answer, so I don't know if you could hear him because he sounded muffled,
Sawdust.
but sawdust, aka cellulose, aka wood pulp, that they put on your bag cheese to keep it from clumping and to keep it lasting longer. Cheese also loses its flavor 3 days after it has been shredded. So that stuff you buy in the bag is covered in preservatives and it is tasteless. So if you want cheese to taste good, buy it in the block. Okay? So Also, let's say that bag of cheese, you open it up, you know, you made pizza one night, the mozzarella's in there, you go a couple days later to open the mozzarella and use it again, and there's green fuzzy stuff in your cheese. What do you have to do to the bag of cheese?
You have to throw it away.
You have to throw it away. But if you got a green fuzzy on this, what do?
Chop it off.
You just chop it off and keep on going. So, we are going to use our coarse microplane grater, and it does have a holder. I just hardly ever use it. I like a TP when I do my cheese, so I'm just holding the package on one end and just grating with the other. Now, it's so funny, when I do this at shows, I know what's going to happen, so I go ahead and tell people. I said, you know what? Whoever ends up shredding the cheese is going to look at it as they shred it, and they're going to eat half of it because they're like, oh, that looks so good. So when you shred your own cheese, it melts better, it tastes better, and it's just not covered in that cellulose stuff. I got too much cellulite in my life. I don't need any cellulose. All right, so we're just going to keep grating. There are 4 things I never measure that start with C. Where are they, Mia?
Chocolate, cheese, chicken, and calories.
And calories, yes. So that's why when we do chicken enchilada braid or chicken broccoli braid or bacon, egg, and sausage braid, we just keep grating until it looks good. All right, so that's a nice, look at that beautiful pile of cheese there. All right, so I'm going to grate a little bit more to get us to like the halfway point. Because I think the original recipe called for 4 ounces, which would be 1/4 of this 16-ounce block. So I went about 1/3 into it. We go through a lot of block cheese. Mia likes to make her own Lunchables, and so we will definitely use that cheese up. All right, so look at all that beautiful cheese there. All right, so there's our cheese, microplaned, with the coarse microplane, ready to go. All right, so let's go over here. I bet your chicken's close to done. You can just leave the camera there for a minute. Why don't you entertain them with something?
Cheese is yummy.
Cheese is yummy.
It is good to melt faster, like she said. And I like to put it on nachos, like cheese, and then I'll put chicken or beef on top, and it's so good. It's so good.
Alright, so here is 2 pieces of the chicken. You can see the steam is coming off from it. It's nice and hot right there. And we grab our salad choppers. So I use my salad choppers backwards when I use my chicken. Again, another Pampered Chef friend showed me how to properly shred chicken with these, and I was like, whoa, where has that been all my life? Alright, so here's your batter bowl, here's your salad choppers, and you just start chopping. So if you like chicken salad, chicken tacos, chicken enchiladas, grilled chicken on your salad, this is perfect for you. If you do a pork butt or a pork shoulder and you like to shred it when it's done, these are for you. If you like to do a tenderloin, you've got to get some of these. Yes, they're for veggie eaters too, so you could do your whole salad in here and do like a why not chopped salad. But I use them probably 90% of the time for stuff like this. Okay, so there's our chicken. Let me grab some more. Alright, so Mia, what I'm going to let you do is I'm going to let you continue to chop some chicken.
Yeah.
I just turned the burners off. So I'm going to let you stand right there and chop chicken while I show them how to assimilate, put together the ring. Alright, so here's our Rock Crock Grill Stone. We're going to use this tonight just because it's beautiful. And a Rock Crock is a type of product that it is truly a one-pot wonder. It can go everywhere. So this material, you've seen me use the pots in other videos. This material can go on your stovetop, in your oven, in your broiler, in your microwave, out on your grill, and in the dishwasher. There is nothing else on the market that does that. Okay, everything does that just like that. So if you wanted to put this on your grill and make bacon and eggs out there, you could totally do that. You know, on a beautiful summer day that you didn't want to be inside and you're having brunch or something, or maybe you're a camper or something. All right, so this is the big, large, round grill stone. So let me get the crescent rolls.
Yeah.
We always keep them in the fridge until the end. All right, so we're gonna open our crescent rolls. All right, you doing all right over there? Mm-hmm. Just make sure, Mia last time tried to pop these with the paper still on. So let me, you open them all the way. There's our trash bowl.
Not perfect.
And then I always just bang them on the counter to open them up. All right, so there's that. So when you do a ring or a braid or a reef, you just unroll your crescent rolls. Now with a ring, imagine a sunshine or a star or whatever you want to think about. So you're going to take your crescent rolls and get them apart in their triangles. The burner is off. So you just need to put more chicken in there. And you're going to put it so that the point side is out. So my bigger part of my triangle is up here, and then my smaller one is, or my pointy end is down there. So you're going to do 2 sets of crescent rolls. When I posted the recipe, you need to get more chicken because you need to chop another couple pieces. Not all of it, but just grab like another piece or 2. Gosh, I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, if you saw my link to this recipe, you'll notice that I had a baby ring on the inside. So if you were having like a really large crowd or like a hungry 13-year-old teenager, you could buy a 3rd pack and put a baby ring on the inside. I didn't do that tonight. We're just going to do the 2 sets there. I just absolutely put that on the floor. Alright, so again, open these babies up. So once I get this together, I'm going to mix everything together, and then I'm going to show you how to finalize the ring and get it in the oven, and then we'll stop the video, but I'll show you a picture of the finished product. Alright, I'm pampered, not perfect. I ripped this piece off. Alright, it went what? Right there? Alright. Alright, and you can see I have this lifted up off my counter using my cooling rack because that allows me to let my points hang off and they're not like laying on the counter where I had like chicken and stuff. Oh, alright, so I have 2 left over. I didn't space this quite right. I'm just going to put another one right there. That looks good. And maybe another one right there. Alright, so we're going to flatten all this out. Alright. And so that just gives me a nice surface to work on, but I've got all my points hanging off the eggs there. Alright, so edges. Alright, let me see this. Can you go in that cabinet and see if my large scoop is in there? Alright, so we'll need that. Alright, so Mia's chopped about half the chicken in the large batter bowl, ready to go. Now with this recipe, I then will take everything out of the manual food processor that we mixed up. So here was our tomato, olive, and chili mixture. So a little something to bind it all together. But nothing's too chunky for those who don't like chunks. Alright, then we're going to need a little mayo. So we need about a half cup of mayo. So we're going to use our measure all cup. I've got it set right there to a half. I got my mayo here. And I'm just going to do this. Alright, so I love my measure all cups for things that are sticky, ooey, and gooey like this. Sour cream, peanut butter, all that fun stuff. So when you do this, you give it a nice gentle plunge. And then I grab my scraper and scrape off all that. So that means I got every bit out that I put in. Alright, you can put that in the sink. Alright, so then we're going to add our cheese in there. Our nice, beautiful, freshly grated cheese. Alright, Mia, I need a large scraper. So we get me a scraper. Alright, that's good. Alright, so these are my Baywatch babes. They're all silicone up top. If you're old enough to remember the original show, this one's Pamela. Alright, she's the biggest one. Alright, so then we're just going to mix all this up. So we've got our chicken, our cheese, our veggies, and then I am going to add a little bit more seasoning. Can you get this, Southwest? It's probably on the counter behind me where you were sprinkling. Alright, so make sure that's the right one. Alright, so then I'm going to add some more Southwest. We don't mind spice, so I just kind of did it to sight. Alright, and I'm going to show you the mixture. Alright, so there's your chicken, your cheese, and your veggies all in there ready to go. Alright, let me give it one more nice swish around, make sure I don't have a glob of mayo anywhere. Alright, that looks good. Now this, you can totally eat this right now because it's cooked. Like everything is cooked and ready to go. Alright, but we are going to then take our large scoop and scoop it out like this. Alright, Mia, in the meantime, can you go in the pantry and there should be some tortilla chips?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Alright, so we're going to put these big humping scoops. There's a little mayo right there. I'm going to mix that up. Alright, so you're going to take, I want a handful of those that you're going to squeeze, you're going to crush them. Yeah, so you want to get another bowl. Alright, so I'm almost getting back to my starting point. So you see that you can really do this with any kind of filling that you want. You could get creative, you know, go meatless and do veggies and cheeses. You could do desserts with pie filling and cream cheese. We like doing scrambled eggs and then put sausage and cheese in there. Alright, so we just kind of finish that up. I grabbed my Baywatch Babe again, you know, because we want to make sure we get all of this yummy filling. And just put it right in there. Anybody ever made a ring before? Those of you who are watching or are going to catch the replay. I just totally jacked that up. Alright, let me take a little bit from over here. Alright, what's your favorite ring fillings? Anybody got one? Alright, so I'm going to take my points. I'll have to scroll through and watch the replay of all their comments in a few. Pull my points into the center. Alright, Mia, that's probably good. I want you to get the bag of the other chips that are in there too.
Okay.
And do a handful of those.
In the same bowl?
No, bring me that one and I'll empty that one out for you while you get that other bag. Alright, so I'm just going to scoop that in there. Alright, so then I've got my ring together. You're supposed to see the filling through the hole. So the ring is not supposed to be completely covered with crescent rolls. With this recipe, you take some crushed up tortilla chips and we're going to add it for some texture on the top. And then some of the recipes call for like doing a little bit of like slivered almonds or something like that on the top. Alright, so we're just going to put those on there, and then might need a couple of scissors. Here, I'll just give you an example. And because these were on sale last night at Kroger, these were like, instead of being like close to $5 a bag, $4.50 I guess, they were only $2. So I thought this would be fun to add a little color to the top. Back in the day, do you guys remember when Tostitos would make green and red chips at Christmas time? And so I would use those to do that. So, oh, we forgot to preheat the oven.
Bake?
Yeah, put bake.
Mm-hmm.
Started at 375, I think is what we do this at. Alright, so there's our ring. So remember, we pulled the points into the center. We sprinkled a little bit of chips on the outside. You're supposed to see the chip there through there. Everything in here is cooked. So really what we're baking is we want to get our crescent rolls nice and brown so that they are not gooey. And if you look kind of in the center, okay, so like on this side, I've got them pinched down. All right, so that's got a nice clean edge. So like if you wanted to take a bowl of sour cream and salsa, you could put it in there. You know, some people like to do the bowls, like we have our tortilla shell maker that you could do a flour tortilla in there to make a shell shape and then stick this inside when it comes out and you would do your salsa and everything in there. Put some guacamole maybe. That's why I made the Southwest dip because the kids love that. We have salsa ready too. And so it is ready to go. So there is the pre-cooked before that we're ready to do for our ring. Now, I wanted to show you that before I do this. So it is getting close to Valentine's Day. Okay, we're not real traditional with like going to a fancy dinner for Valentine's Day. But this, we love Mexicans. So we could totally do this for Valentine's Day. And I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, so we're going to take and make a point out of here. And then we're going to push this part down and make a heart. So, in my best creativeness I can here, I am making a heart. And I could have probably done this before the chips were on. But that is a heart. Let me turn it this way for you guys. For Valentine's Day. Isn't that fun? Alright, so I wanted to show you. I'm going to put it in the oven. I'll take a finished picture when we're all done and let you guys see how it is. And then I'm sorry you're not here to taste it. But let me know what rings you like best. Let me know if you've done rings at your house. Let me know if you made one tonight right along with me to serve to your family. So I want to know. So I'm so excited that you guys were here with me tonight. And we're going to enjoy this. And I might even have an adult beverage as I eat my piece or two. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Bye.